All right, action. Posterior leg, and then we'll do anterior leg in a separate video. Before you do your draping, again, if you have a sloppy drape that's in your way for stone massage, it's going to make things a lot more difficult. So I'm going to show you a very easy way that it's clean looking and not billowy. The billowy stuff can get in your way, okay? So it has to start off very clean. I'm going to fold it away so that it's a fold. I'm going to give myself a little bit of wiggle room down here so I don't pull on their foot. And I'm literally just going to stand like this, take my hand, I'm going to turn it so that my hand faces up and tucks towards the table, pushing down towards the table at an angle towards their shoulder, so not straight up and not out like this. And at the same time, I'm going to use this hand to kind of create a somewhat of a 90-degree fold if I can. So usually I can get this in one go. Let's see if I can do it here. Kind of like that. This is a very thick blanket, which is kind of helpful. And I'll just kind of tuck towards the table so that it feels secure. And I'm not pulling from up here. So it's nice and secure on the medial thigh. And it's nice and secure here. We have the nice glute. And then we're kind of covering the stomach. And I'm going to gently pick the hand up and just gently move it out away from where I want to be. That's it. So if you can see that this is all away from you here, this is not going to get in the way of your stone work. Got it? So Cynthia, would you like to kick us off?
Yes, so we begin with the Balinese style of floor rock.
Yes.
So you stand at one knee, one hand goes up the leg, and the other hand goes down the leg.
Perfect, and then we're going to switch, and the other hand's going to go up, and the other hand goes down. So I get enough oil to kind of have a puddle in my hand. Get it on both hands. And I'm going to just stand in the same spot very lightly. One hand goes up, and the other one goes without going down the foot, just to the ankle. Come up and then switch. There's no pressure, I'm just spreading oil. And then I'll go ahead now and come down, and now I can go ahead and come down the foot. And then I'm going to make my way up. And then what's next?
Using large stones, heat transfer onto the glutes.
Perfect.
So roll on and roll off with stones.
Perfect. And then after that, before the physical handwork, is there any more detail to that stonework?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get my stones. If they were both very hot, I would get 2 stones, and I would place one of the stones underneath the blanket to keep it warm for future use. But my stones aren't quite that hot yet, so I'm only going to take one and allow the other one to continue heating. Okay? And it's important to continually replace your hot stones over and over again so that it remains hot, hot, hot on them. Does that make sense? I'm going to put oil on the stone itself because I want it to slide. And I have a little too much oil on my hands. I don't want to drop it, so I'm going to just get some of the oil off. Okay, so the first section of the body is on your body charts, which you have there. Section number 1, and it's written on the top left, is what? Glutes and IT band. So we're going to go ahead and combine the glutes, what we can get of them, and then the IT band. So first the glutes. So I'm going to go ahead and just heat transfer as much as needed. And again, the stone isn't too hot, so I can go ahead pretty soon. And I'm just going to go ahead and roll it on. And I'm going to go ahead and up the glute, flip, and then go along the arch of the glutes. And then you can even get more detailed and go straight up, and then go ahead and find the greater trochanter and push off the greater trochanter. So now you're pulling these muscles off of the greater trochanter and working your way up to the iliac crest.
Gotta be
Ooh, ah. And then you can flip and pull towards you if it's comfortable enough. Pull towards you, kind of like we did with the back. You can start angling, pulling down off the iliac crest again. And then you can flip and push up again. All right? And then you can even pull down off of the greater trochanter, pulling inferiorly. And this stone has lost a lot of heat. I didn't really plug them in soon enough for this demo, so they're cool. And so what they should be is hot, okay? Make sure you're transferring a lot of heat into them. So we're gonna switch. And I'm gonna just go ahead and go for it because we're just getting nice and warm now. How's that heat? Perfect, good. So pulling off of the greater trochanter, and in any way, if you can push up and flip, or you can pull down using your angle and flip up this way, and then pull down. The more you flip and pull, the easier it's gonna be. All right, and then we'll go ahead and find the greater trochanter again, and just pull down inferiorly off. Okay? Good. And then, you know, when you come off, just do some kind of nice flourishing rolling off. And then we're going to go ahead and use the stones down the IT band first.
Okay.
Because I like to use the stones for both glutes and IT band and then move to the next before the hand massage. So new stone, oil. Maybe heat transfer, this one's nice and hot. So if you're working inferiorly, you can come down the glutes like this, flipping up. And then we're gonna go ahead and slide down the IT band, flip, slide down the IT band, flip, slide down. So this is a very general thing you can do. Or you can go ahead and pull up, flip down, pull up and flip down with slightly more pressure and a little angle than you were just using. All right. Does that make sense? Slide again, flip. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and put the stone down back in the heater and begin the massage for that area. So Cynthia.
So for the glutes, we strip, traipse, and grasp. And for IT, we do those three and add palm strip.
Perfect, good. So since we started on the glutes, we'll start massaging on the glutes. One of my favorite moves is to gently hold the drape without pushing a huge hand or putting pressure, just real gently holding the corner so it stays still. And we're gonna strip down. Be careful of your pressure here, because if you go with the same amount of pressure you've been stripping everywhere else, and then all of a sudden you strip with that same pressure here, it could be too much just because you have piriformis. So I'm a little bit slower and maybe slightly lighter. I'm really paying attention to the tissues and how much they allow me to do, but also notice my location. Just how proximal they are, right? And how proximal they stop. I'm just gonna stop here. So I'm not gonna take my stroke on glutes and go all the way down. I'm really gonna separate each section. Glutes are very high. IT band is very lateral, and her leg is even rolled like medial splay a little bit. So she's kind of like not even really that straight, which makes her IT band even lower, okay? So stripping.
Traipse. Would you use a bolster?
Normally you will have a bolster. Yeah, normally you will. So I'm going to put my bottom hand soft and my top hand's going to do the pressure. Just going to pull down in whatever length of line I feel I want to, pulling off the iliac crest. and then around the greater trochanter. And I can even strip, tucking, since it's on the side of the body, I usually tuck in for this side of the body. So I can strip off the greater trochanter, and then I can strip down, pulling off this way too. Yeah. Maybe pulling down, stripping down as well. Palming. How would you grasp here? Maybe grasping. It's not very comfortable. Maybe skip that one. And then same thing for IT band, you said?
Same
Stripping.
thing for IT band.
Okay.
Strip, traipse, grasp, and palm.
I think I put grasp in too many things. I don't think grasping here is very easy because it's a squish, right? So let's take that out again. All right. So stripping, again, since it's on the side of the leg, I like to tuck in because it'll give you more easier pressure. So start all the way at the greater trochanter and just stripping down slowly. Again, these can be tender. It's a tendon and there's usually some adipose tissue, so just be careful with your pressure. You can do a long, slow strip, or sometimes I even like to come down and strip up, and then come down and then strip up, and then come down and strip up all the way down. And then the traipsing, for me, the easiest way to do it is to use my relaxed thumb and then to press my thumb maybe with the other thumb kind of in, you know, maybe a little bit of a circular motion or a straight down and a straight up, where the underneath thumb is relaxed and the top thumb is using the pressure. So this tends to be somewhat easy as well. Okay. And then all the way down till you get past the knee. And then what's next? Stonework?
Now, did you palm already, the IT band?
Okay, thank you. So palming, you would want to tuck in and palm down. You could do this. It's a little bit hard on the wrist because it's so bent. So just be mindful of if it's hurting your wrist, then switch to your stripping. All right? Okay.
So now heat transfer on hamstring.
Hamstrings. And we're even going to go ahead to adductors both at the same time. So I'm going to take a large stone, because the large stones work really well on legs, I find. So this was a new stone. I had to get some oil on it. It hadn't been used yet today. Okay, so I'm just going to heat transfer with my palm. So where are the hamstrings, right? So we got to know where they are. If you find these kind of dimples in the back of the knee and you take them straight up to where the ischial tuberosity is and kind of make somewhat of a straight-ish line, there's a section here where I find the hamstring is the easiest to access. Because if you use the same pressure from hamstrings as you do on your iliotibial tract and adductors, those are a little more tender than the actual hamstrings. And I find that they're somewhat more narrow than you would mentally think they are. So just really separate them in these long lines, okay? So the stone isn't too hot. I'm just going to go ahead. Hamstrings, I'm starting more proximal, flipping, and then I'm working my way more distal. And I'm coming down at the angle of the drape, pretty much. And go ahead all the way down till you get past the knee and start again. I'm not quite angling here, I'm just doing a flat stone. Flipping up, sliding down hamstrings and adductors. Flipping up and sliding down. Just heating them. If you have more time, then you can do an angle and work your way down the hamstrings with an angle. Flipping up and repeating, just to fill in the space of the hamstrings. And then if you have more time, you can get a hot stone, another hot stone. And then kind of work your way down the adductors with the same. This one's a little hotter, I'm going to heat transfer. And I'm not going to flip because it's nice and hot. And just get the adductors only. Okay? You could even pull, flip and pull. Flip and pull. Adductors can be tender, so use the flat, use probably not angle here. Like you could slightly angle down the hamstrings, but adductors being so tender, a nice flat stone feels better. Okay? All right, what's next? Massage?
Massage part, strip, traps, grasp, and palm.
So since we're not doing circulatory massage, it's okay to go down. Since I'm already standing like this, I can strip down. Or I can strip against the fibers of the hamstrings, which run this way. So I can go ahead and do shorter stripping, staying medial to the IT band and posterior to the adductors. So you could strip long lines, or you could fill it in kind of shorter lines going against the muscle without going too wide. If you add a little bit too wide, again, tender, tender, tender. You could turn around and come up as well. You could even come up this way. And sometimes I'll leave in kind of strip down, kind of open my fingers a little bit, circle, and then strip back up again. That kind of feels nice too. So I'm going to strip down. When I get towards the end, I'm going to spread my knuckles, roll and around a circle, and pull up again. And just do that the whole way. That feels kind of nice too. So you're just stripping down. At the end, spread a little bit, come around, and pull up. And then for the adductors, I like to do like a double kind of stripping and just sliding down. Just sliding down, working your way from proximal to distal. My thumbs are loose. And again, I'm kind of following the angle of the drape a little bit. This feels nice, I feel. What else could we do? We could traipse and pull up as well. Again, just only on the adductors, because we're getting specific now, right? All right. That's good.
Palming, if it's appropriate.
You could too. You could palm. So you could palm down the adductors as I just stripped. You could just take your palm and just palm down with the assistance of your other hand. And you could even palm up like this. So I guess it's kind of a traipsing palm where I have another hand assisting it. Okay, good.
Now, for grasping, would you do that on?
I think we'll save the grasping for the calf. Yeah. I think I went overboard. Grasping. You could, if it's comfortable for you, you could. It's just a little... It works really well on the quads because they seem to be kind of just like graspable, you know, like more of an arch, and on the calf. Okay.
So then we're ready to move on and heat transfer.
Heat transfer to the calf. So large or medium's fine. Let's go large. Find my hottest stone. It's nice and oily already. Okay. So I want to heat transfer on the whole thing, but when I start with my stone, you could go ahead and use a whole flat stone coming up, and then this isn't too hot so I can already flip. You can do it like this, pulling, or you can turn around and push. So just getting the whole width of it. And then I've lost heat. I'm going to get another stone. And then I'm going to go ahead and just take my stone and just roll this way now, the whole time, the whole way down. So it's a little hot, a little bit of heat transfer. I'm just going to roll on. And then I can use my other hand to put the back of my hand to kind of stabilize from flipping around so much. It's hot enough to not need to flip yet. Let's go ahead and flip it and start again. And I'm going to flip each time now. Give it a flip. Give it a flip. All the way down. All right, and then you can even take your hand and kind of brace the leg so that it doesn't flop in, and you can come down the fibularis muscles, because that's always nice. Is that too much pressure?
She's asleep.
Something twitched. She's either sleeping or it's too much. So. All right, it's working. All right, put it back and we'll do the massage. So it's the massage. Stay.
Strip, trape, grass, palm.
Perfect.
It says up, gastroc, but
Up, yeah, sure, up's fine. Some of it I do up. So grasping, you could, and I'm sorry if you can't see that over there. You're welcome to come around if you want. You can see in the mirror? Perfect. So grasping here works really nice as long as you don't overuse your muscles and torque your wrists. So I do kind of need to get a little bit low. My thumbs are kind of soft, and I'm just going to pull just that belly, the medial belly of the gastrocnemius, and just working my way down. And if I go too long with it, then I get in trouble with my hands. So it doesn't have to be the longest stroke in the world. We're going to separate it. It's specific. And it's almost like I'm just pulling up and letting it roll out of my hand. So here's the grasping here, all the way down. And then I can grasp the other way with my thumb. Again, as long as it's not too long, you won't be torquing your hands. So I'm just getting that other lateral belly of gastrocnemius. And since it gets a little more difficult to grasp like that with this kind of more narrow Achilles tendon, calcaneal tendon, I can take my thumb and traipse it with my loose thumb and my working hand and just kind of thumb through in little lines through against the fiber lengths. Does that make sense? You guys can see this enough?
Yeah.
Come on over.
It's like we can see you right here, but I was looking at your thumb, yeah.
So yeah, I'm hiding it with my top hand. Okay, you see it? Yeah. So what's happening underneath
Yes, thank you.
is this, yeah.
Perfect.
But it's a loose thumb. And so this opposite hand is really doing the work to push it down while it just kind of hangs out and reluctantly traipses through. Yeah, what else can we do here? What I really like to do, this is where I will go up, is I'll take my thumb and traipse it up the center of the gastrocnemius, but it's a nice like flat, like the whole thenar eminence thumb itself, all of it, and I'll put my hand on top of this whole thing's gonna traipse up from the heel, up the center of the gastrocnemius to just below the popliteal. Got it? So it's gonna look like, so without my hand on top working, it's like this. But with my hand on top, it's just so easy to just slowly come up the center. Just because that vein is here, that large vein, this is where I will go up instead of down. I find this to be easy and a nice detailed thing to add in for them. Okay. You could even do, like, if you wanted to, very slow mini petrissaging. And if you wanted to kind of adapt that too, you could even take